Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be a recap of my trades today. I think it's going to be the last day that I do a recap of a smaller day. I think I was only up like 70 something dollars. Yeah, 76 bucks today. I made a decent amount on BCDA. I was up 200 at one point on BCDA. So we're going to take a look at the trades that I took there. And then I made some stupid trades in RDW, and this looks like a decent trade on Qs, but I royally botched this trade. So let's look at this Q trade really quick, because honestly, this is like picture perfect trade. If I could, chart out or think about some of my best trades ever, this would probably go down as one of them, as far as the analysis, the setup, and all that stuff. And then I totally botched it at the very end. So let's take a look here. First, on the larger time frame, let's look at what I was watching. We had this consolidation that was happening right here, right? We were consolidating at the low a day after gapping down, and right below us is what? We have a low volume area, a huge low volume area. So how do you designate a low volume area? Well, are bars overlapping? Do you have multiple bars overlapping? If not, that's a low volume area, and low volume areas act the same way as gaps. When price shoots up really quickly, there's not a lot of support on the way back down. So we did find support at the top of the low volume area, as you'd expect. And then as we start to fail out of this, as we start to break down here, I'm looking to get short because we have no support below us. There's no support. So my first target was somewhere in here. If I can break this down to like a 5-minute chart, we can go back and look. There we go. So now you can kind of see the support zones a little bit clearer. We've got a couple wicks high there, and that's 355.25. That's my first spot. And then my second spot was on the lower end here, 353.75. So just plot those out, and then we can scroll over and see what happened. So we came right into that first support zone, which is where I took some off. You can see me taking some off there. And then we bounced, and here's where I was stupid, right? Let's zoom in on my trades. I took some off. Sorry, my girlfriend's teaching and it's a little loud. I added to my position on this bounce because I said, look, this breakdown was so perfect. Here's the breakdown as it was happening. Let's take a look at this consolidation. Just as we were starting to break down, I timed it perfectly. I had a really tight stop, which was right above 357.70, so about 50 cents a risk. I added one thing I added one lot, which was like 10 shares. I'm not taking big size on my swings. And then I added, as we continued to show weakness, I added a second one. I should have added a third one on this one, but I didn't. And then I took two off really quick. That was a mistake. Why did I take two off really quick? I have no idea. That was a total mistake. I took half my position off right there instead of letting it ride here. So then I took another quarter off there. And then as we bounced, I added right there, or I added somewhere in here, and then I covered it like right there. So like tiny little scalp on 5 shares, like just stupid. Like what are you doing? Add right here. This was a good spot to add. I like this add. And then as we get higher, I added again into 357. Now we had this descending trend line like this, and this was kind of where I had my stop above, and we were just getting really close to it. So this is kind of like that one last add before I get stopped out, just in case, right? And I just didn't give it any time. Like the tape was super fast, the stock had just shot up. I'm like, oh, I'm surely gonna get stopped out. Like now my size is too big, and then I covered literally the high day, and then look what happened. We just sold off the rest of the day. I mean, discount everything that just happened there, that giant wick up, but like into the end of the day, look where we ended up. We ended up at that other support zone, or below it even, way below it. And then this right here was Amazon's earnings, and looks like we're gonna do something similar to what we saw yesterday, where we finished on the highs, Facebook reported, we came back down to the lows and gapped down. Now Amazon reported today, we finished on the lows, and we might gap back up, and we'll gap up tomorrow. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's my SPY trade, my Qs trade. And so let's take a look at what you guys probably want to see, which is going to be BCDA. So we're going to pop over to the stream here today. Okay, I think this is my second trade, but we'll call it the first trade, since the first one was like a $9 loss. It was nothing big. I see this big order at 196. We're kind of near the low of day, waiting to see this hold. I saw green over there, so I just bought. We didn't pop instantly, but the good thing is I have a bid below me. And I don't know if you saw that my trade station was lagging, was getting me filled. So it was really, really bad this morning. Trade station was unbelievably laggy. And we should be going right now at this point. I'm seeing tons of green. The ask is super small. So I just got out on the ask there for a cent, basically. I don't know if this popped up any higher. It looks like it did. What I wanted to do was partial out, but the fact that TradeStation didn't fill me immediately, I was just like, I want to get out of this thing. If I can get out for a profit at all, I'm happy. And this thing ended up popping really nicely. So that's unfortunate. Let's continue on though. Okay, here's my second trade. So 205. We have this battle, right, between buyers and sellers. We see green. I'm in again. TradeStation's taking forever to fill me, and I just got out because TradeStation was taking a while. I mean, there's no reason for me to be selling there. Let's watch it again. Watch as I click the buy button. You'll see my numbers like incrementing slowly. Here we go, and like little by little, like I couldn't even sell until for like two seconds after I got filled. Which, in hindsight, it's not that big of a deal, but there was no reason to sell there. So that should have been a 3-cent winner that I messed up. It was a kind of disappointing morning this morning. There's a huge order. There's a huge seller right there. Let's see. I think that seller ended up stepping down their orders. And I finally bought there. Okay, yeah, here's a great example of what was happening this morning. Look at my buy order. This is so sketchy. So that huge seller had stepped down their order, and we had come down now like 10 cents. Huge ask, not a huge bid. As soon as I start to see green, I'm hopping in this with anticipation that we break. I see the bid building. And as soon as the buyers start coming in, I hopped in really early, thinking that maybe the seller would just pull their order and let it go. And they didn't do that. And look at that, my order has been sitting there now for like 4 or 5 seconds, not being filled. Finally it gets filled there. We do get a pop. And I think maybe I just get out here. Yeah, I just get out on the ask. Try to get filled. I got filled like 3,800 shares, and then I took 200 off there. Just a mess, an absolute mess with TradeStation this morning. Okay, this is my next trade. We're starting to curl back up. We're right at VWAP. I talked about this in yesterday's recap too. This is a little sketchy. This is sketchy. You know, this is a sketchy place on the chart to take a trade because you're just above VWAP, and like if the sellers are going to hit this hard, this is where it's going to happen. So you're like, you can get wicks above VWAP and then just get crushed. So buyers and sellers in this particular instance, and I see green, I'm in there. We do get a nice 2-cent pop, and I'm out for 80 bucks. Easy trade. Not trying to look for continuation just based on where we are on the chart. Let's continue on. And coming up, this is really frustrating. We can play this out here. This is another decent trade. Held that one for a while, actually, it looks like. We're coming into 208. I see the bid building. Lots of green. Boom, easy trade. You know, my stop loss is the bid, which I just sold 3 shares, or I sold 3,000 shares into. Kind of stupid because like the bid was huge. I didn't need to sell 3,000 shares into that, and I'm letting the 3,000 run, thinking that we're going to get back to this trend line, which we ultimately do. So now is where I should be partialing out. And there's no reason to be selling yet. There is where I should be selling. So another mistake, another costly mistake. I got 20 bucks on that where I probably should have gotten 80 at least. And then this was probably one of the most frustrating parts of the entire video. As we come up to this trend line break, and I think as we come up to 215, as I blip forward here, looks like I'm in a trade there. Again, I'm just like trying to get on the ask. I'm not taking my time. Not very good. Not very good trading this morning. So as we come into 215, look at my trade station lagging. I'm calling out in the video. If I play the video volume, let's see. But my platform's lagging. I can't do anything here. I'm calling out 215 because this is a point on the chart where the high a day is kind of in no man's land. The high a day is at like 218, 217, and 215 is the last big order that I saw on Bookmap. So I knew that just based on past experience that when 215 breaks, usually that'll cause a chain reaction of covering, of short covering, all the way through the high day, and then you get more covering over the high day. You get a nice little pop. Of course, the volume starts to come in. My platform starts to lag. Oh my gosh, come on. So you can see like two
Literally
bids.
the worst time to be lagging.
Or it's trading in at 215, but you see an ask down at 214. It didn't make sense. And then look at the pop.
Gosh.
A beautiful pop. We got a
That's
huge bid there, easy
unbelievable.
to sell into, 221. This should have been a 5-cent trade minimum. Minimum on 4,000 shares. That would have been, 240 bucks. So a little disappointing. It is really disappointing. And then I just took a series of bad trades, I think, coming up. I'm not going to go through all these with you because I think this is starting to get a little long. And I did take a decent amount of trades on this price here. This was a fun one to trade.
Stay in that. I gotta wait and buy into 222 now.
Like, it was very easy to read the bid and the ask, but between platform issues and the volume was a little bit low. It started to die off a little bit at the end, which is what caused me to lose money. All right, we're gonna find the last one more trade, and then I think I'm gonna call it. Okay, there's one. Let's see what happened here. So, this was an interesting spot. This will be a good place to leave it off. Okay, so we're consolidating down here, and we just put in a double bottom, a double top, and really we need to hold this 217. We need to hold this 9 EMA. We need to hold this 50% retracement. We need to hold this trend line retest below 217, and it gets a little ugly. So I'm being very aggressive into 217, and I still think that this was a good idea because if this had worked out, if we had gotten a pop through 217, we likely would have traded through 220 up to 225. The risk to reward on this was incredible. So let's see what I do here. There's 217, big ask at 217, waiting for green. Here we go. Okay, I'm in there. And I'm holding this. I'm just holding this until I see red on the bid. Holding this for a larger move, and that there was a place there where I should have sold. I mean, the selling was coming in, and I was letting the buyers step up and hold this stock up. And then I think this happened again. I get right back in. Because again, I'm trying to be really aggressive into this spot. Buyers do step up, and I don't see that bid building. Okay, there we go, the bid build. See, that was a dangerous place to hold there. It was a dangerous place to hold, but again, I'm being aggressive, hoping that we can get this further push up to 225. Really high risk to reward. And are we gonna get a push through 218? We're trying really hard, but we just couldn't get it. We couldn't get it, and I think sellers are gonna refresh the ask here, and we're gonna sell off. And so as I see this selling coming in, I see the bid or the ask building, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out here. Man, I was in this one for a while. There's that ask building. The red comes in, and I'm out of that trade. So all in all, I'm up 91 on the day. That was probably one of my last trades, if I had to guess. And this stock, then you can see what happened. We traded right back to the lows, and I think we even traded below the lows. I think we went down to like 208 pretty quickly. So that is the recap, folks. Again, this will probably be the last time that I do this on smaller days. I do want to show you guys my recaps. I want to show you guys, how I go through and assess my days trading and stuff like that. But it's kind of boring on the smaller days, especially the ones where I'm taking like a million trades. So what I will do is on the larger days, whether it's a winner or a loser, whether it's a winning day or a losing day, I will take you through those specifically. Or if there's something that I really want to point out in the future videos, I'll do that as well. All right, folks, thank you for watching. If you haven't liked the video already, please do that. That tells me that you like these and you want to see more of them. And happy trading, and I'll see you tomorrow.